If you are anything like me, then you want to dip your toe at least into cozy mystery series, but then you realize, oh my gosh, this series I really want to read that's a cozy is not available on audiobook. How rude. Today, I am going to help you. I'm going to be starting a series moving forward called Cozy Mystery Books that are available on audiobook. Welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Let's go. Yes, hello, and welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am, of course, Mr. Francy, and I am truly honoured that you have once again chosen to join me today as I go through cozy mystery books that are available on audiobook, episode 1 in a new series that I am beginning. I did say in a previous booktube video that I want to expose cozy mysteries a whole lot more on this channel. One of the reasons for that is because over in Australia, cozy mysteries are just not that well known, so I want to put them out there for you all. But something that I've certainly struggled with over time is finding a lot of different cozy mysteries on audiobook, because a lot of the cozies that people talk about, or not a lot, but at least half of the cozies that people talk about are not available on audiobook, and some of them are not only not available on audiobook, they're also not even available on paperback. And if you're anything like me, you can't read from an ebook because you have really sensitive eyes. So, I mean, it's like, how rude. But don't worry. If you are like me and you prefer to read the paperback, or specifically like this series is about, listen to the audiobook, or both, then I have you covered. Thanks to my dear friend Ro over on our Discord server, The Sparkle Cafe, there is an entire list of cozy mystery books that are available on audio. And today, we begin that journey. We are literally going to go down the list. There are so many that my dear friend Ro has put up there that I'm so thankful for. So a massive shout out to you, my dear friend Ro, and to everyone else. Let's get right on in. All right, so I'm going to move the camera so that we have room to put the books on the screen. Alrighty, here we go. The first book that is in this list of cozy mysteries available on audiobook is The Witch's Cat mystery series, and this is by Delia James. Now, I have not read this series before, so even for me, I'm exposing myself to new series, which is fantastic. There are 3 books at the moment that are currently out with this one. And the first book is, right up there, A Familiar's Tale. So the basic setup of this one is unlucky in love artist Annabelle Britton decides that a visit to the seaside town of Portsmouth, New Hampshire is the perfect way to get over her problems. But when she stumbles upon a smoky grey cat named Alistair and follows him into a charming cottage, Annabelle finds herself in a whole spell book full of trouble. Well, that certainly sounds amazing to me. Not the current book I'm reading, but the one after that I'm going to be reading is going to be my first ever cat cozy mystery book. So maybe I can also get into this one as well. Next up, we have the Hannah Swenson series. This series is written by Joanna Fluke, and there are, excuse me while I go, there are currently 30. I nearly said something there that I didn't want to say, but my goodness, 30 books in this series. Book number 1 is called Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder. And the premise of this one is no one cooks up delectable suspense filled. Let's try that again. No one cooks up a delectable suspense-filled mystery quite like Hannah Swenson, Joanna Fluke's dessert-baking redhead heroine, whose ginger snaps are as tart as her comebacks, and whose penchant for solving crimes one delicious clue at a time has made her a best-selling favourite. And it all began on these pages with a bakery, a murder, and some suddenly scandalous choc chip crunchies. Featuring a bonus short story and brand new mouth-watering recipes, this limited limited edition of the very first Hannah Swanson mystery is sure to have readers coming back for seconds. Wow, that's quite the intro. I did give book number 1 a go. Personally, it was not for me. I DNF'd it, I think, about a third of the way through. It just seemed a little too, I don't know, just not for me. But it doesn't mean that it's not for everyone, because a lot of people swear by this series. They really do. So you give it a go for yourself and you decide before just following what I do. Next up is a series that I've heard a lot about but still haven't read, so maybe I will get to it. This is the first time I'm going to look at the premise. So it is called the Cajun Country Mystery Series, and it is by Ellen Byron. Book number 1 is called Plantation Shutters. So let's have a look at this premise. It's the end of summer, and prodigal daughter Maggie Crozat, I think, has returned home to her family's plantation turned bed and breakfast in Louisiana. The Crozats have an inn full of guests for the local food festival, Elderly Honeymooners. The Cajun Cuties, a mysterious stranger from Texas, a couple of hipster lovebirds, and a trio of Georgia frat boys. When the elderly couple keels over dead within minutes of each one from very unnatural causes, Maggie and the others suddenly become suspects in a murder, which does sound very intriguing. It just, the way it was written was very weird for me to read out, so sorry about that. Maybe that premise can go through a little bit of editing, but anyway, I'm not judging. It is how it is. That's why I stumbled there. Yeah, it sounds really, really interesting. A lot of people really seem to love this series, and let's see how many books there are in this one. Woo, there are 7. Yeah, so the latest one coming out in 2021, so this is probably a completed series. Next up is the Vintage Cookbook Mystery Series by Ellen Byron. Book number 1 is called Bayou Book Thief. It's not a word that I come across often, so I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. Okay, there are, how many books in this one? Oh, 3. That makes life a lot easier, doesn't it? So, book 1 came out in 2022, book 2 in 2023, book 3 in 2024. So just 3 books to get through, but there may be more considering that the latest one came out just last year. Alright, so the premise of book 1 is 28-year-old widow Ricky James leaves LA to start a new life in New Orleans after her showboating actor husband perishes during a stupid internet stunt. The Big Easy is where she was born and adopted by the NICU nurse who cared for her after Ricky's teen mother disappeared from the hospital. Ricky's dream comes true when she joins the quirky staff of Bon V Culinary House Museum, the spectacular former Garden District home of late-born vivant Genevieve V. Charbonnet, the city's legendary restaurateur. Ooh, that does sound interesting even to me. Maybe I should give this one a go. Well, there you go. There's that one. Next up, we have the Farm to Fork series by Lynn Calhoun. This is a 7-book cozy mystery series. Book 1 is called Who Moved My Goat Cheese? I love that title. Who moved my goat cheese? How dare you? How rude. Okay, let's read the premise. Angie Turner hopes her new farm-to-table restaurant can be a fresh start in her old hometown in rural Idaho. But when a goat dairy farmer is murdered, Angie must turn the tables on a bleating black sheep. With 3 weeks until opening night for their restaurant, The Country Seat, Angie and her best friend and business partner Felicia are scrambling to line up local vendors from the farmer's market to the goat dairy farm of Old Man Moss. I love that name. Fortunately, the cantankerous Moss takes a shine to Angie, as does his kid goat Precious. Aww. So when Angie hears something else that deals with the mystery, she jumps in and tries to work things out. I don't want to spoil too much, but anyway, I am really actually excited reading that premise because I read the Farm to Table series by Amanda Flower, and it wasn't for me because that was more about the vegetation side of farm to table, but this seems to be more farm to table taking place in a restaurant. And if that is the case, and you've read this series and you can confirm that for me, confirm it down there, or on the Discord, either way, then this is definitely a series for me that I would be excited about. Next up is the Tourist Trap mystery series by Lynn Calhoun. Book number 1 is called Guidebook to Murder. There are, let's have a look here, there are a number of novellas, so I'm just going to confirm how many main books there are, and there are 17, with the most recent one coming out in 2025. Well done, Lynn Calhoun. But yeah, there's a number of novellas that seem to stop after 7.5. So there's 7.5, 6.5, 6.25, because why the heck not? And 5.5, 5.25, 4.25, and 0.5. So there's a number of novellas if you wanted to even sample. I don't know if 0.5 is available on audiobook, but that's a way to go. I stopped the video because the motorcyclist who likes to stay his motorcycle 101 video was doing that, and the moment I paused it, they stopped because, man, isn't that the way? Anyway, book number 1, as I said, is called Guidebook to Murder. Book number 1, the Tourist Trap mystery series, and here is the premise. In the gentle coastal town of South Cove, California, all Jill Gardner wants is to keep her store, coffee, books, and more, open and running. So why is she caught up in the business of murder? When Jill's elderly friend, Miss Emily, calls in a fit of pique, she already knows the city council is trying to force Emily to sell her dilapidated old house. But Emily's gumption goes for naught when something happens, and I won't say what. Okay. Anyway, so going off the first paragraph there, in the gentle coastal town of South Cove, California, all Jill Gardner wants is to keep her store, coffee, books, and more, open and running. Coffee, books, and more sounds like heaven to me. So maybe this is definitely one for me to check out. I wonder if it's more cafe leaning, more bookstore leaning. Who knows? If you've read the series, let me know down below. I've noticed I've done a few by the same author, so I'm now trying to be a little more picky to mix things up. And next up we have the A Secret Bookcase mystery series. Book number 1 is called The Body in the Bookstore, and I know that this is somewhere on my 2025 TBR, so I'm definitely going to be reading book 1 at some point. And how many books are there in this series? So far there are 5, with book number 5 coming out in 2025. Alright, so book number 1, The Body in the Bookstore's premise is: behind the shelves of the secret bookcase where the sun slants through the windows onto rows of classic crime novels, something happens that I won't spoil. Bookseller Annie Murray is thrilled when the mystery-themed book festival she sets up to receive the dwindling fortunes of her workplace and sanctuary seems poised for success. But events take a shocking turn when a body is discovered hidden behind the shelves, and it is revealed that the victim is Annie's old colleague acquaintance. I mean, they say you can read the first paragraph and you won't be spoiled for anything, so I hope that was not a spoiler for you. I have read one bookstore, actually 2, now that I think about it, 2 bookstore cozy mystery series. One I've read 2 books, and the other one I'm completely finished. Amanda Flower's Magical Bookshop, as well as, oh, I can't think of what it is called. Just a moment. Took me a moment to find, but it was the Booktown Cozy Mystery Series by Lorna Barrett. I read the first 2 books in that one, and I don't know why I didn't continue on. I really don't. Do you think I should? Let me know down below. Here's a theme I have not heard of before. The series title is called A Decoupage Mystery Series. Book number 1 is called Stuck on Murder, and it's by Lucy Lawrence. There are 3 books in this series, the latest one coming out in 2011, so probably safe to say it is done. And let's take a look at book number 1. I love that cover. I mean, I'm about to say the premise, but when I said let's take a look at the book, let's look at the cover. I love purple. So the color purple is my favorite color of all time, and I love the look of that cover. Anyway, let's read the premise. In the small New England town of Morse Point Brenna Miller glosses over her painful past by watching her decoupage students create eye-catching projects out of cutouts, glue, and varnish. Ooh, very nice. The rest is a spoiler. But, ooh, that sounds very interesting. One moment. Just want to get the definition in case you were not aware, but decoupage is defined as the art or craft of decorating objects with paper cutouts. That is a very different type of theme for me. Had you heard of that one? Let me know in the comments below. Now, this one has me very intrigued. I do not believe that book number 1 is on my 2025 TBR, but maybe it needs to be. It is called the Lucky Paws Pet Sitting Mystery Series. Book number 1 is called Death by Chocolate Lab, and it is by Bethany Blake. So, let's read the premise. Pet sitter Daphne Templeton has a soft spot for every stray and misfit who wanders into the quaint lakeside village of Sylvan Creek, but even Daphne doesn't like arrogant some person. When something happens, just a moment, I'll try and avoid spoilers. Okay, so all you need to know to keep it spoiler free is that first sentence. Pet sitter Daphne Templeton has a soft spot for every stray and misfit who wanders into the quaint lakeside village of Sylvan Creek. Oh, I mean, that's all I need to know. Pet sitting, yes! Yes, sign me up! I'm going to try and keep these videos short, so we'll do one more. And the final one for today's episode, let me know down below if you want to see more, is Crystals and Curiosities series. And that is by Lauren Elliott. Book number 1 is called Steeped in Secrets, as in tea steeping. I love it. Okay, so let's have a look at the premise. Okay, so keeping it spoiler-free, even with her life in ruins in New Mexico, Shay Myers feels uneasy about settling into the small seaside town where she grew up on California's Monterey Peninsula, and taking over an estate bequeathed to her by Bridget Early, a woman she had barely known. Her heightened senses and empathic gift she's had since childhood go into overdrive upon touring Crystals and Curiosities, Bridget's eclectic tea and psychic shop brimming with Irish lore and Celtic symbols. Oh, tea, psychicness. That sounds like it is 100% up my alley. All right, so that is where I will leave it for this episode of this new series we're doing, Cozy Mystery Books that are available on audiobook. Let me know if you have any Cozy Mystery Book series that you would like for me to include in this series, because I'm very open to collaborating with all of y'all who leave those comments, so let me know down below or let me know over on the Discord. But again, I want to give a very massive thank you to my dear friend Ro, without which I would not have this information. The struggle to find Cozy Mystery audiobooks is real, y'all. I am absolutely aware that that is the case. So I definitely think that this video and this series is going to benefit all of you who prefer to consume your cozies through audio, even if it is through audio and another means. So audio and physical, audio and ebook, whatever it is. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a like. It really does, of course, help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell, ding, so that you can be notified each and every single time I do upload a video. But in the meantime, I'm going to let you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind, love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, especially when it comes to cozies, happy reading. Bye!